Okay, guys. I'm gonna give you guys just kind of the outline of what's going on forward as far as this class. Here, guys, give me your attention. So as this class has started or whatever it is, 3 weeks from today, just putting it is your final. Got it? So it's the first. Your final is on the 22nd. I was kind of putting it on the calendar there. Remember, if you guys don't remember this, senior finals are a week early, and usually you guys are like, "Can I have it even earlier?" Right? Sort of idea. So that tends to be kind of the norm. But I'm just going to go now. It's 3 weeks from today. On this period, it'll feel like Wednesday morning. Everyone show up, come and take the final. Got it there? So that's thing number one. Before then, we'll have probably more of a half test than a full test. Just between the last set of notes, which will be on competitions, types of competitions, which are perfect competition, monopolistic competition, monopoly sort of idea. But because of I'll say not doing well on the last test, I need to go back over some of the macro stuff because I think I can kind of explain to you guys what happened on the test and why A, I had no A's, and B, that what was absent there even from that. So take your headphones out and write this down as notes. I'm trying to give you guys the big picture, which I think is what was absent. The big picture, I mean, how does the business cycle relate to what the Fed does, relate to what the tools of the Fed? So think of this as like the 3 steps of problems. So this all starts when I'm going here, guys, with the business cycle. And I'll describe the worst parts of your test while doing this there. And for those, like 2 of you that haven't taken the test yet, this will help you review. Real GDP. Wait, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm doing average supply or demand. Business cycle. Real GDP is fluctuating up and down over time. Okay. Right here is an expansion or a recovery or a boom. Right here is entering into a recession. Okay. And what happens is, I'm just going to pick a point here. On a recovery or an expansion or a boom, this was the most missed question on the test. It was number 13. I went, what happens to inflation, unemployment, and then what happens to real GDP? So real GDP is increasing, unemployment is decreasing, and then inflation, the correct answer is increasing, and this is a problem. Got it there? So I'm noting it here and as like bold as I possibly can. Inflation is a problem. Got it? And what happened is everyone said, oh, we're in a recovery. That's good. Or we're in expansion. That's good. It might even been a peak. I'm not sure. Let's go. I'm just all talking about these things the same. So peak or recovery or expansion. And then everyone pretty much put that then inflation is down. And so if you don't understand this basic, I'm just going to go basic on the business cycle. This is one of the things that I was just going to say. I think 2 people got this question right. Everyone else missed it and pretty much put the same answer, which was inflation is going down during expansion. Remember we talked about this because we said gas prices are high right now, partially because you're in an expansion. The stock market's increasing. It's increasing. There's low unemployment. Like if you just look at our modern American society right now, that is basically the case of what is going on. Everyone kind of see it there? And so I wanted to emphasize that because everyone missed that one question. I was like, oh, you guys aren't understanding inflation is high right now because we're more near here than we are here. Or maybe we might be right here, but we're not anywhere near, I'll say, a bottomed out recession. So then the opposite occurs here, and you have a recession, which I don't feel like I need to give all the different names for that because everyone kind of knows the term recession. And then what happens is there's a positive. Inflation is down. Gas prices, if we're in a recession, will go down. And then unemployment is up, which is bad because you guys all want jobs, right? Anyhow, maybe you don't. And then your real GDP, your production, is down.
Wait, so that when in a recession, good for unemployment because there's a lot of jobs.
So right here, I'm just going to label it kind of the same. Here is the problem. The problem is joblessness and not producing enough. Got it there?
So when unemployment is up, that means there's not as many jobs?
When unemployment is up, there's not as many jobs. Think if I said there's a 10% unemployment rate, right? That would be high, right? And then we'd want people to get more jobs because that means that there's 1 out of 10 workers in America who are looking for a job, can't find one. Got it? Where the current unemployment rate, guys, is somewhere around 3%, which is below what they call the natural rate of unemployment. The natural rate of unemployment is there's a certain amount of people who quit their jobs or fired, every year, right? Like, does that make sense? That's what that's accounting for. They're looking for jobs, but essentially they could go find one if they just like halfway pay attention. Got it there? Sort of idea. And I would say this to you guys. You guys are in a great job market to go look for jobs. Obviously, college degrees help with that, but you guys could go to almost any location. If you said, I'll give a full-time thing, you'll be able to do that. Or get basic training in more of a skilled setting, something like a police officer or a plumber, right? And they would train you up to go do that. Give you an example, just in my own family, right? My nephew, Elijah, is taking on an internship with my brother, just getting him trained into a job that he probably never would have thought to look for. Because my brother, his work is always expanding. It's really hard to describe the work and be like, hey, be excited about this, because essentially it's consulting work, which basically means explaining to businesses what they need to change because of changing laws. Got it there? So then it's mostly towards food companies, like, the packing sheds around here, but also more that's travels involved with the job. There, got it there? But that's a good news for you guys just in general. That's a random job. Like, none of you said, I want to be a consultant to food processing plants when you grow up, right? And maybe somebody did, but I'm just going like, nobody said that. That didn't get described in, the Berenstain Bears, like, get a job book, you know what I mean? But it's a job that's available, and basically my nephew, if he took it, because it's an internship right now, would earn a living wage, like something he could raise a family on, right? You know what I mean? A very good solid wage, own a house, and sort of idea. Now, he doesn't have, a wife or kids, anyhow, so sort of idea. So he can just go travel the world with it. There you go. So here's the issue now. Now, the second thing that everyone missed, I'll go, and this is dealing with the last thing. I want to set this up. And I feel like I went over this a bunch like this. I kind of go like, I don't know that I reviewed it very well. Go like, I know we did it when we were doing it lecturing, but like that in the recovery, there's a problem, high inflation. So now the Fed needs to deal with the problem. So basically, I want to draw from here and go like, here's the Federal Reserve. And that's where, how are they going to fix the problem? And so, okay, they need to fix the problem. What's the problem? I'm just putting it here, inflation. How are they going to fix the problem, guys? What's that? What sort of monetary policy? Tight or loose?
Tight.
Okay, tight monetary policy. And then what is a tight monetary policy? There was a disconnect there, okay? So I'm going to go down here. Here you go. Here's the Federal Reserve again. And I'm just going to put Fed this time. And how are they going to fix the problem? They use a loose monetary policy. Okay? A loose monetary policy. Everyone got it there? And so there is the one answer to that question. I think we make it overly complex, right? And you start going like all these things, because the next step is then, what are the tools to fix it? Okay? And the tools, I think there was just some disconnect here. Because what happened was, I basically gave, on the test, I basically gave a description of high inflation as the problem. Got it? I gave this problem. And most everyone said the way to fix it is a loose monetary policy, which is the opposite of what you should do. I'll say the majority of you did. I want to say 3/4. Got it? So there was a disconnect there, because I think sometimes we go, this bad, this good, this creates jobs, this makes people lose jobs, which is true. But this is the one that corrects the problem of inflation. this is the one that corrects the problem of unemployment. Got it there? And so I'm just going here, like, I don't think I said it simply, is how I put it. Like I had said it, and I had it on the board over there. But like, look, this fixes inflation, tight fixes inflation, loose fixes unemployment. I didn't put the problem there. Okay? And then from there, the tools are used in opposite directions. So this is the one where like, this is the one where you basically have this. You have bonds, okay? Bonds are either bought or sold. And I'll note this to me is like the hardest thing on the test is remembering this. In a tight monetary policy, the Fed sells bonds. Okay, and so I did this a number of times. So I took IOUs and I gave them to you, and then you gave me cash back. So I'm the Fed, right, in that thing. So you have to imagine yourself as the Fed. If the Fed is selling bonds, they're taking cash and putting it in their vaults. Got it there? It's a banking function. Okay, and then for a loose monetary, they're going to buy. The Fed buys bonds. Okay. You guys did have this relatively associated correctly. That's why most people got 2 out of 4 in the last question, but I think it affected the multiple choice as well. Then you went tight monetary policy, the reserve requirement is increased. Reserve requirement, just reminder, amount held in banks. So if you go in and put $1,000 in the bank, they have to hold on to $100, something like that. Okay. And then finally, the discount rate or the interest rate. I use those interchangeably. That is the loan interest rate amount. So what happens is they give a loan, the Fed gives a loan to a bank, right? And then if it's lower, that's going to get pushed to us. So they want to do an increase. Okay, sort of idea. Okay. All right. Final one. Final one here on the loose. It's basically the opposite. So the reserve requirement, we want less held in the bank. Okay. And then we want lower interest rates on the loan. So the discount rate is decreased. Okay? All right. That is basically the outline of it all. Then we got it there. And so like when you think about it, anyhow, I wanted to put it all up on the board at the same time so you guys could see it all at once and like write it all down, sort of idea, so that you guys can kind of go like, okay, the problem is here. That means there's high unemployment and low inflation. So to fix that problem, I need to create more jobs. Okay, I'll even put maybe here a goal, create jobs, right? And right here, the goal is to lower prices. And that makes it anyhow. So I'm trying to like, does this make it simpler? I'm not sure. Or if this even helps. Helps Molly because you haven't taken the test yet. But does that make sense to everyone? And so like try and keep it simple in terms of that. When doing this with this part of stuff with AP students, if they can't understand it, I always tell them write this on their test, whatever, because that like people often switch buy and sell bonds because that like isn't like a natural function. I don't know how that remembers that, but then everything else is just sitting there. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop there and then have you guys do an assignment, which is easy to do.